Yo, what's good, the Queen? I'm your guide Q, and welcome to another juicy edition of Neckbeard Stories. Let's see what's going on. Okay, this Redditor is really letting it all hang out. I have a confession. I was once a homophobic, toxic, sexist neckbeard incel with a case of the nice guy syndrome. No, I did not wear a fedora or say milady, but as Uncle Moonhorse always says, it's not the fedora they wear, but the fed aura they exude. So, this started in middle school and lasted up to a few months ago. I was never fat, I wasn't obnoxious, I didn't consume Doritos or Mountain Dew aside from the occasional bag of Cool Ranch Doritos. I did and still do have acne, though I'm doing something about it. Edit, I also often had very greasy hair, but I now have a phobia of greasy hair and never go a day without washing it, so I now always have clean, poofy hair. The start is probably with the prawn addiction, but more specifically, the anime stuff. I'm still struggling with it, but it's getting better. And not nutting as much is letting my acne clear up. But I did always fantasize making love and stare at chests sometimes. I did in fact have the nice guy syndrome, where I internally complained, why do girls always go after the assholes and leave the nice guys like me behind? And think, all women are whores. Fortunately, I made a vow to myself that I wouldn't use any social media, i.e. Reddit and Instagram, until I'm 16, and I didn't know what an incel or neckbeard was until I discovered Fun with Failure and Moonhorse on YouTube during quarantine. Oh yeah, and my 16th birthday was March 26th, 2020, so it was in the middle of lockdown, but I'll get back to the present later. I didn't have a girlfriend, though a girl did give me the number of another girl back in March 2019. She was nice and cute, but I didn't know what to do and not do in a relationship, so I made the brilliant idea about venting about how my little brother's depression was pissing me off. I wonder why I was ghosted that day. I thought it was her fault and I did nothing wrong, thus leading me further down this hateful path. I was once homophobic. I wasn't a raging homophobe or call everyone who's LGBT an F-slur, but instead I had internalized homophobia. And every time I saw a pride flag, the analogy I can make is the moment in the SpongeBob movie where someone screams, "My eyes!" I also thought, okay, we get it. You're gay, now please shut the fuck up, Jesus Christ. I also had the Chris Chan double standard of homosexuals where I hated gay men, but as I mentioned above in my prawn addiction, I had no problem with lesbians. But the wholesome bit of irony here is that I actually recently found out that I'm bisexual, and now look back on myself and how toxic my homophobia was, and now embrace the pride flag. I managed to befriend an exchange student from Japan, and she was genuinely a sweet girl. I didn't harass her, but when I did have class with her, I did eye her. Not at her chest, but at her as I had a crush on her. She's since then moved back to Japan, and we're still friends. Now, when COVID happened, I didn't have access to any girls, and I spent a lot of time on the internet. Fortunately, I didn't find incels.co and adapt to that toxic mindset. I did discover Fun with Failure and Moonhorse where I learned about neckbeards, and some of them sounded like me, which disturbed me. In September, I decided to try out Reddit. Oh no, man, the worst drug addiction on earth. Never try Reddit, not even once. And my earliest posts were mean. But I was definitely told by random strangers that I was being a dick, and took that to heart and improved myself. I also got better social skill with talking to a lot of people, and they put down my shitty attitude. I also met my first girlfriend here, and now I'm in a long-distance relationship on Discord with a sweet and adorable shy trans girlfriend with plans to live together in the future. I'm sorry I laughed at that. It's just, like, online relationships are extremely difficult in general, but I do genuinely hope for the best for this person. TLDR, I was once a hateful, homophobic incel neckbeard, and now I'm a bisexual femboy with thigh highs coming in the mail and an adorable, loving girlfriend. I feel like this is an extremely common pipeline, if you can believe it. People that have spent a lot of time on the internet, you will probably have seen multiple people make this, like, bigot arc to, like, hey, now I'm actually, like, bisexual and proud. Like, it happens a lot. I despise my past self, and I still have some more personal growth to do. But a lesson for everyone is if you cringe at your past self and want to bang your head against a wall, it means you've grown as a person and you're now a better person. Oh, and I have something else where I don't know where to fit. So you know how neckbeards are weeaboos and or bronies? Well, I didn't watch much anime or MLP, although now I do watch anime in a healthy dose. This person has to dose out their anime to make sure they don't get back down the hentai pipeline. I had my own phase, Thomas the Tank Engine. Can someone please shoot me? Actually, please don't. Just erase those memories from my brain. I feel like considering your past, like, Thomas the Tank Engine is the least of the issues in your past. Like, embrace that. That's fine. That's not at all problematic. Also, happy Pride Month. It's actually funny, this story's from a year ago, but it just happens to be Pride Month now. So happy Pride Month to this person and everybody at home watching. Like, this person started their, like, growth out of being a neckbeard journey. They say a few months ago. I guess they found out about neckbeards like a year before. And, yeah, just good for them. It sounds like they might have a little bit of growing to do left in there, but definitely headed in the right direction. The first step to solving your problems is to admit that you have them and acknowledge what's going on, and they're doing a great job of that. So good stuff. Let's go. Us Redditors, we can make it. We can do it. Ooh, we've got a recovered neckbeard / legbeard double feature on our hands. I used to be a legbeard. Hello everyone, I'm back in here to post a tale of my own cringe. I've read a lot of I used to be a neckbeard stories, but as an FTM trans fellow, I wasn't a neckbeard but a legbeard. Apologies for bad formatting, I'm once again on mobile. This story starts around the end of 6th grade when I was a mere 11 years old. I began to get into anime, mainly Sailor Moon and Pokemon, that's where it always starts. Overall, I didn't get very cringy until I turned 12 and entered 7th grade. I became obsessed with Pokemon, specifically Pokemon X and Y. I was, frankly, insane Clement fangirl. I memorized his lines and read all the Y/N Wattpad fanfictions. I don't know what Y/N is. I have heard of Wattpad fanfictions, though. Shipped my self-insert with him and even shouted his lines from the anime in the hallway at school. To add to this, it was around that time I stopped caring about my hygiene. I never washed or brushed my hair, and on the rare occasion I did shower, I'd only stand in the water and rinse off. I guess that's better than nothing. To hide the stench that was definitely there, I'd simply use way too much perfume. It's a miracle other kids only made fun of me for my hair and not anything else. Of course, I whined about the people that were bullying me because I liked anime, not realizing that it was because I would Naruto run in the hallway and asked my classmates and even teachers to read my horrible self-insert fanfiction and was overall cringe. This got worse in 8th grade. Listen, nobody deserves to get bullied for Naruto running or sharing their self-insert fanfiction, but it's definitely an inevitability if you do those two things. It's just a sad reality of our world. I found out about DDLC, Doki Doki Literature Club, as well as High School DxD. Definitely not the best things for a 12, almost 13-year-old to get into. I behaved like a horrible combo of Yuri and Rias, and would stick out my chest to make it look bigger, and would write and exchange poems with a similar edgelord friend of mine. Alright, I'm skipping a section here because they pretty much just go into a little bit of detail about how they romanticized stuff like hurting yourself in very bad ways. So not a good activity to get into, but a thing that some teenagers do get into. After my DDLC era, I got really into a mobile anime rhythm game called Girls Band Party. I would sing the songs, which are in Japanese, loudly in the hallway at school and brag that I knew Japanese. I wanted to start a girl band and specifically wanted to be the bassist. I ended up getting a bass for Christmas, which I still play occasionally now, though definitely not good enough to be in a band. Overall, I was the cringy, I'm so edgy and depressed kid, as well as the I'm not like those other girls, I like anime and don't wear makeup and have 5,000 boyfriends. Now, here's where it really gets juicy. My mom was finally fed up with my poor hygiene. She cut my hair, made me shower properly, and taught me to shave my legs. I'm grateful to her for this, because I know I wouldn't have done it on my own. Now that I felt better about myself, I began to start thinking about boys. Unfortunately, I was a self-proclaimed yandere, and my crush was a poor nerdy boy who was fairly popular and didn't hesitate to call me on my BS. Didn't stop me from stalking him all the way up until the 8th grade, even going to the point of joining the same club as him and even finding out what bus he rode. Now that I gave up on him, I ended up getting a boyfriend who I was with for 2 months before we broke up, due to me beginning to question my gender. I had cringy moments in 9th grade, but none are notable enough to add here. My advice to all of you is to just take care of yourself and don't become too obsessed with things like I did. Yeah, mother. You know, I think this story might actually be even more inspirational than the last one, because although this person didn't overcome, like, being a bigot, which is a big deal, they did overcome being extremely cringy. And although there's absolutely nothing wrong with being cringy or, you know, Naruto running through the halls, it's still a thing that can be very detrimental to your social life and can be kind of like attention-seeking and just off-putting. So it's a really huge evolution to be able to overcome having the things you like be your entire personality this quickly. So it just goes to show that, you know, people can overcome this and have like the cringe phase of their life actually be a very short chapter and something they can quickly move on from just from acknowledging the problem. If you want more videos, I'll have a playlist of every video I've ever made in the top right corner of the screen. If you're interested, click on that. I'd like to give a major shout out to Hannah, Matthew Kendall, Caitland, Beth the Dork, Ashton Jacobson, June, Mega Mander, Alicia, Catco, Kennedy DeSilvis, Tay Hyper Ninja Child, Jared D, Regrettable Stitches, Allison B, Fiona Fox, Kaya Bay, and Brittany, as well as everyone else you see on your screen for being top tier channel members. I appreciate you guys a lot. This is going to be extremely ironic what I'm about to say. I am thinking about possibly changing the way that I do membership shoutouts / rewards, because I fucking hate getting into the nitty-gritty of YouTube and stuff like this, but I am trying to, you know, sort of mount a comeback on YouTube, and average percentage viewed of a video is an extremely important statistic, and it's extremely ironic that I'm bringing this up while I'm saying this, because this part of the video is, like, actively going to push that number down, but I just wanted to communicate clearly with you guys about this thing. It's an extremely important statistic, and with the shout-outs at the end of videos, you can see on the charts that number just going down like crazy at the end of videos of the percentage of people that are still watching. So ideally, I'd like to find some way to be able to provide equal value to what members are currently getting, but I know that that's going to be difficult if I'm not doing the shoutouts. So if adjustments have to be made to the prices of the membership tiers to accurately reflect the value people are getting out of being a member, then I will definitely do that and try to communicate as clearly as possible with members about what is happening. And you know, I feel super lame talking about this, and like I'm selling out the people that have supported me the most, and I appreciate their support, and their shoutouts will live on in those videos, obviously, until the end of time, but sometimes you just gotta make stupid, dumb, annoying decisions to try and succeed, and I know what you're saying, Q-Star, why don't you just try making better videos? Maybe then you would be doing better in the YouTube algorithm, and that's absolutely true, but, like, I'm trying to do what I can, and this is one of the things that I would like to experiment with. So fucking skate on to the best of your abilities. Feel free to criticize me in the comments. I would love to read people's different perspectives on this. And yeah, make sure that you're drinking a lot of water, taking care of yourself and the people around you. And I'll see you super soon. Peace out, Cub Scouts.